What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the rumored Marvel game that EA is making. This, I believe, started circulating yesterday. I skipped over it yesterday, but I definitely want to make sure I hit it today. And it's interesting for sure, but it's also like we have next to nothing on it. Now, I guess the biggest thing we have is that it comes from a pretty good leaker, right? If you were to pick like from the army of leakers online, Special Nick Baker is kind of towards the top. Right? So it's not like you're giving it to some like lowballer, right? Like at least it seems pretty likely. The question is, who's making it? What is it? When is it? Like all of the who, what, when, where, like all that stuff. That actually still I think applies that we don't know, and it's as simple as that. So basically, he was messaged from his source, and his source said that EA is making a Marvel game. Now, in the podcast, and some sites are skipping over this, coincidentally enough, in the actual video, and I watched like that clip of when he was talking about it, he said he has, I believe, 2 EA sources, like people that are good with EA stuff, and he forgot to run the rumor through them. So that sounds a little sketchy, especially if you've never, like if this is the first time you ever heard of Special Nick, right? And you're like, oh, well, that doesn't sound like it. It comes across pretty like unprofessional, but I feel like it was just almost like a bad timing thing. The point is that, I mean, maybe he runs it through those 2 people and it comes back to say, hey, that's not happening. Or maybe he runs it through those 2 people and he gets more information from it, right? But that was it. Again, they didn't say, oh, it started a year ago. It started a couple months ago. I mean, and of course, any of those things are possibilities. I mean, it could be very far in development. It could have just started. I mean, you even look at when he started talking about Sly Cooper 5. I mean, the rumors are when he was talking about Sly Cooper 5 that the game had just really recently had just started to be made. So this could literally be like, well, they greenlit it and the person knows the studio or whatever, but it literally just started like a few months ago. That could totally be a thing. And when you think of EA, when you think of EA, they don't have too many studios. Like they're not, obviously they have some really big teams like DICE and BioWare and stuff and Codemasters, but they really, I don't know, like when you think about it, it's not like they have like 50 teams they can just kind of give a Marvel game to. And that's actually what they went through in the podcast after, was like, who could it be? They kind of settled on DICE, like maybe one different group from DICE, because who else really could it be? BioWare is now. If they could do like a BioWare, like a Mass Effect or Dragon Age-esque, and you could do that for Marvel, or even like a Knights of the Old Republic, and you could do it for Marvel, I mean, that would be cool. But I would just imagine BioWare is a little busy. You still haven't shipped Dragon Age, and you still aren't even, all the way done with, you're not even close with Mass Effect, whatever that game is going to be called. Now, if this is what I said earlier, if this was like a handshake deal, then maybe it could be BioWare, because maybe the idea is BioWare does Dragon Age, then they do Mass Effect, then they do a Marvel game. Now, that would be, 6-7 years away. It could be that. I think that would kind of be pretty stupid, you know what I mean? And even to, I guess maybe I'm at the point of my life, like I don't necessarily need to hear about a game or a handshake deal for a game that is like 6 to 8 years away. Who God knows where any of us are going to be, in almost an entire decade from now, right? So, I mean, I'll take the shorter approach. I mean, if it's, again, something that's a team has been making for a year or 2, then okay, well, maybe the game can come out in another 2 or so years. That would be fine, and that would make me kind of excited. But that's kind of it. So again, I don't know. I mean, to me, DICE also kind of makes sense, and is the only one that makes sense, because EA has like the racing division. Like they have a couple teams to do racing games. Again, you got like BioWare, but that would be so far away. DICE, they've said is like solely focused on Battlefield, but which DICE are they talking about? Because DICE is huge. DICE has multiple studios around the world. Do they literally mean DICE as an entire thing is working on Battlefield, or do they mean, well, like the main focus, but maybe there's an off-site studio somewhere that they're working on a Marvel game? That's the one that makes the most sense, I guess, to me. Now, does that mean that the Marvel game is going to be a first-person shooter? That'd be very funny. So I actually kind of want that to happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on tomorrow's video.